Hey everybody, it's Gypsy time, and I have a walkthrough today, and I'm hopefully not going to take as long as 2 hours like Kelly and Truth and Story. She doesn't do 2 hour walkthrough, she does an hour and a half walkthrough. I promise I won't do that today to you all with this deck, but there are a few things that I've noticed about this deck that I feel like I am qualified to go ahead and critique and walk through with this deck. This is the new Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake, and the art is by Elizabeth Alba. I'm glad that they have both names of the artist and the book author on the cover of the deck. And that really makes me have a smile on my face. And this is actually a new Llewellyn deck. Let me see if I could get my camera angle up. This is actually a new Llewellyn box, a new Llewellyn deck that has just been released, I think, a month ago. This deck has been released about a month ago. And I know it's March of the Pips this month, and it's March, but yesterday, my hubby and I, we were at the bookstore. He was feeling a little blue, but he also wanted to give me a gift, so he picked out this one. I said I liked that one at the bookstore or this one, and he picked out this one. He picked out the Everyday Witch. He said that looked more like me, and I'm like, oh, he's so sweet. He has a pretty good intuition of knowing what I like or don't like as far as tarot decks, but he tends to buy the mass-produced decks, but that's okay. I love him anyways. Maybe next time I'll get him to get that Necronomicon tarot out of my wish list, because that's been on my wish list for over 2 years now, and that's probably the oldest tarot deck in my wish list as of today, is that Necronomicon tarot by Llewellyn. But we're not going to talk about that one today. We're going to talk about the Everyday Witch. And it comes, let me go ahead and tilt my camera down. It comes in a magnetic box. And I did open this, by the way, and unwrapped everything, but I didn't really take the cards out of order. So I've already kind of dug deep in the book. So I'm going to put the cards aside for right now with the box. But I did dive deep in the book a little bit, and it is actually colored, and I think it even says it on the back. Oh, hopefully I don't shift the cards around too badly. But it actually says, shit, I felt the cards go everywhere. It says full color guidebook and here, so let me make sure that the cards are not terribly out of order. No, we're good, we're good. They just fell out of the slot. That is the one thing that I feel like this box would be really bad for this deck. If you took the guidebook out and you had this deck to store, you probably would want this deck very much upright like this. You don't want it to shift around if you had the guidebook out. But this is not how I'm going to store my deck. If you look at my shelves over that way, over yonder, it's probably going to sit on the shelf without a box or a bag, because I've noticed that. I've been loving my decks like that. But the guidebook is a beautiful color, and it's just wonderful. I actually been looking at the cards this way. I haven't really touched my cards at all so that I could do this walkthrough, but I've been doing it this way. And from what I could breeze through the book, I kind of breezed through it. I didn't really read it because I don't usually read guidebooks, but from what I could breeze through it, they talk about the Fool and the Fool's journey, and the sword, the cups, the wands, the pentacles, and how to use the deck. What else they have? How to do a reading and learning the cards. I wouldn't say this is an absolute beginner's guidebook, but this is definitely a pretty halfway decent guidebook if you want pretty good keywords and want pretty good descriptions from it. And they have the numerologies here, which I'm going to be reading over again because we're in March of the Pips. That's what it is. And I know it's March of the Pips, but I keep calling it March, even though it's not. It's March of the Pips. So, and it actually has a few spells. It actually has 3 spells for cleansing your deck, using your cards, and consecrating your deck. So I thought that was really cool. I never seen a tarot book or a guidebook with spells, but they kind of geared it towards a more witchy person for sure. And they got the go in the cards, and after some of the cards, they have these areas for notes, and they have pretty halfway decent descriptions of the cards. They have what's going on in the picture over here, and then they go into the things to consider is what the magician actually really means and things like that. So it's actually, this is actually not a bad way to learn tarot. And this guidebook is, I wouldn't say it's for the absolute beginner to learn tarot, but it's not bad for a first beginner deck to learn tarot, because when I was learning tarot, I only had a little white book and I had my Robin Wood deck, and that's how I learned tarot so many years ago. Alright, I didn't really check out the cards in the cardstock yet, so let's do that now. Alright. Just to let you all know, I did have the Lion Strider Tarot, and unfortunately I don't have that here to compare with anymore, because the Lion Strider Tarot I couldn't connect with, and I traded it off. But it had that thicker cardstock. This one has like a beautiful matte. It's thin like the other Llewellyn, and I got my Gateway Tarot. I think it's a Gateway. I call it the Gateway Tarot. Gateway to the Divine Tarot here. But I call it my Gateway Tarot. But it has that beautiful, it's like a matte finish almost. It has a silky matte. I think they're experimenting with cardstock and seeing, looking up the reviews on YouTube or something to see what people are liking or not liking. I love the borderless. This deck is completely borderless if you love borderless decks. And yeah, compared to this one, that's what I wanted to do. Oh crap, I didn't want to do, my pad is in between my arms, so it's a little hard. Okay. It's definitely a lot more matte. That's the first thing I recognized when I picked up this card, was, oh my god, it's a little bit more silky. It has like that silkiness to it, whereas this one has more of a glossness to it. You know, if you do that to your fingers, or that to your fingers, or that to your fingers, you definitely could feel a little bit more of a silk than this one. But for the most part, I would say that they're the same cardstock. They would be the same thinner cardstock for sure. I would say that, for a second, yeah, they would be pretty much exactly the same cardstock. But I could tell the finish of this deck is definitely a lot more silkier than this deck. Silkier than this deck. I was right. I was not trying to mix up my words. But I wanted something to compare to, because I didn't compare yet. And now let's take a peek at the cards. I don't have that fancy zoom camera like Kelly from Truth and Story does, but this will have to do it, and I'll pick up as we go. And this is our full card. I really like this deck because it has that fun. It's whimsical and it's fun. That's one thing I was commenting on when I saw Norse Pagan Witch having this deck, and I thought I saw Imogen Waters, I think her name is, or YouTube name is. I have her subscribed to my playlist too, and she had this deck, and I totally watched it. I was like excited for this deck, but I didn't have pre-order it or anything like that. I just kind of was like, when it comes, I'll get it, kind of attitude with this deck. But I was actually surprised how much I actually do like it. But enough for that. Miss Waters, she called this cute little witchy smudge. She, throughout her whole entire review of this deck, or flip through of this deck, she called her smudge. I thought that was really cute, and I might keep calling her smudge. Oh, Let's read about Smudge. But, okay. This is one thing I did like about this deck. I love the sky. I love the water. And she has this kitty cat throughout the whole entire deck. There's a cute little kitty cat almost in every single card. So if you like cats and you like witchinesses and cats, then this is a pretty good deck to have. And it's really whimsically. It's just fun. It's really fun. And I think this really does describe the Fool, in a very cute sense. This is the back of the card. I'm not the biggest fan of the backs. I would have loved it if it just been stars and not the cat and the broom in the hat. But I would have loved it if it was just the blue and the stars. That would actually been a kick-ass back of the cards if you ask me. But I didn't create the deck. But I love to get this actual depiction of the deck so much that I think I could overlook that. This is a Magician card. They actually have this is another thing that I noticed about this deck that I actually like. They have a pretty good mixture of androgynous faces, and they have a very nice androgynous faces and characters throughout the deck too. So you could say that that's a man or a woman or somewhere in between. You don't really know. Some of these characters are very androgynous looking. You don't really know what they are, which I like, because I feel like we don't have enough decks that are LGBTQ friendly, and I'm definitely for that, and it's definitely very nice. I love the kitty cat, again, and they keep it very Rider-Waite-y with the, oh yeah, that's another thing about this deck that I really should have commented before. This is a very Rider-Waite based deck, but I thought for a Rider-Waite based deck it was very good depiction of the Rider-Waite, especially when you get into some cards they have a more modern everyday depiction of the Rider-Waite, or what they think the Rider-Waite should be. I loved this when I saw this. You got the pillars, the white candle, the black candle, oh my goodness, and the books, and the kitty cat's playing over the ruins, and the crystal ball, and the tarot card. Oh my god, I actually like this card very much. It's really nice. I could definitely see the High Priestess in that, even though it's like a cute little modern twist to it. I thought this was a pretty good depiction of the Empress too. You got some dogs in this deck too, so it's not exclusively kitty cat, but you got some dogs in it. I think that they did a good job with this deck. For the most part, there are some things I could be nitpicky about, but they did a really good job for this deck for being a cute little cutesy deck. It's a cutesy deck, but they did it right, I think. They didn't overdo the cutesiness. They did it, I feel like, just right in the balance between cutesy and non-cutesy. I really love this Emperor card because he has, I love his crown of horns. I love his dog and kitty cat. And I love the constellation that he could be an astrologer. I love that card, actually. This makes me smile for a dude sitting on a throne thing with a Emperor card. And if you know how much I love my Emperor cards, and I don't like the dude sitting on a throne with my Emperor cards, but this one I think is worthy for Emperor card. Because, honestly, I love German Shepherds. They're actually my favorite dogs. They always are a good temperament. And I love the Hierophant being a yoga teacher or a yoga instructor. How cool is that? And yet, you also have very androgynous looking characters. You could be a man or a woman with short hair, or a woman teacher here. I really love that. That's actually really good. A less traditional route for the Hierophant in a cool way. Oh, and another wonderful androgynous looking couple here with the kitty cats. Look at the kitty cats with the heart. Oh my god, that's so cute. I love that. Now this one was a little perplexing to me. Somebody who has a very set mindset of the Chariot might have a problem with this card, because a lot of, like even Kelly from Truth and Story, she interprets the Chariot as movement, movement forward, progress, and things like that. And I do view Chariot as those things, but I'm more view Chariot as more of a way of careers and victory, kind of like achievements. Achievements is more of my keywords for the Chariot card. So it's actually kind of funny that everybody has their own definition of the cards, and I feel like if you have a definition of a card, stick with it. But this one is kind of, I think this one's definitely kind of Kelly's from Truth and Stories depiction, because she's talking about progress, she's going somewhere, but she doesn't really know which way to go. And I like the black and the white, kind of from the Rider-Waite-Smith of the animals. I just did Chariot, so I kind of remember that at the top of my head. But yeah, I really love this depiction because it kind of talks about the reversals without using reversals. So I think this deck would be very good without having to actually use the reversals for this deck. You could just use it upright and get the reversal meaning in it too. I love the tornado in the background and the lion and the kitty cat. She looks very cool. Oh, flipping it down. I thought this was a pretty cool hermit card. This one is has the owl and the kitty cats and her meditating and the broomsticks. Oh, I love it. I really love it. This one is actually a pretty traditional Wheel of Fortune, I think, in my many senses. It's a very traditional looking Wheel of Fortune. It's not anything to write home about, but it's definitely got its meanings there. I love the kitty cats, the black kitty cat and the white kitty cat going at each other, and I really like that. There's something elegant about it. I don't know why. I really enjoy that card. Now this was very interesting. It's a cool, more modern twist of the Hangman. Instead of the very pagan looking Hangman, like kind of like the Druidcraft Tarot. It's very modern. You got the chains. He's chained to his broomstick, and whether it being self-chain or somebody put him there, he looks like he's very meditative being in that position. Even though there's some rainstorm coming in the background. I like that. Now, this was really, really cool death card, I thought. And it seems to come through that door or not. And you got the kitty cat there. I think if you could look at the kitty cat, I think, what is he playing with? Like a tail of another kitty cat. Oh, the kitty cats do that. And then he cuts the rope. There's a rope being cut. Ooh. Beginning of the beginning and an end of the end, and it's kind of very left to interpretation if you want to view death as man and woman. I love it. I really love it. Oh, I love this yoga pose with Temperance. So pretty. And she's picking with her one eye. Oh, that's so funny. So cute. I like that. And the kitty cat is skinning us the cupcakes. That kitty. I would have killed that kitty cat. Oh my goodness. This is temptation of the devil there. I think that's every parent's worst fear, though. It kind of does play every parent's worst fear, is that there's going to be some unknown stranger or crook going to come and snatch up your kids, though. And the kitty cats are kind of begging the kids not to go with this guy with the money, and definitely devil and the volcano in the background. It's not very... It's kind of unsettling, like the devil should be. Oh, look at that tower. It kind of looks like she forcefully used her wand and completely conjured up a spell and devoured the tower herself. That actually could be open to interpretation, that she was the one that forcefully pulled down the walls and the towers that were binding that was standing or binding her. So I like that, actually. Ooh, I really liked the star card. I liked the pretty colors and the water and the kitty cat looking at the fish. She's very pretty. I like that. I love the traditional witchy moon card. You know, the witch flying in front of the moon and the kitty cat looking into the water and seeing, ooh, a panther. He sees himself as a panther. Bad kitty. Bad kitty. But it kind of really does play on the moon's interpretations, though. You know, just right here alone. You know, the moon could represent illusions or disillusions and almost trippiness. And I have in the past seen the moon card come up for drug addictions and things like that in the past. Not for me, but for clients and stuff I've read. And you can definitely get that in the card. I like that card a lot. There was something in the card that I thought I was seeing. The sun card. I kind of... Okay. This was the only card that actually the next one too, but this... Okay, there's something was on my screen. But, this was kind of one of those cards that I was kind of hoping that they had more masculine characters in there. I wish they had more masculine characters. I didn't mind that there was no Peruvian chariot in the sun card, because sun is really happiness and all that, blissfulness and things like that. So you got the definitions in there. But I kind of view the sun card being more of the masculine card. I really view sun as very masculine. A very masculine energy, and I don't get that from this depiction of the sun. But I love it anyways. It does do its definition justice. Judgment. Now this one is a kind of a one that... This one I don't really associate with judgment as much. This was kind of like one I'm like, I don't really get the meaning of judgment. Because for me, judgment is all about reawakening, kind of almost a connection to the divine while you're reawakening too. It's refinding yourself, reawakening, connecting to the divine. And I guess you could get that through music and things like that, which you can. But I'm not really seeing it, what my definition of judgment is into this card. I have a very firm belief what judgment is, and I'm not getting it from this card. Now this one I could agree with. What do you do after bad things happen on a long day? You just kind of go to the beach. After all that journey, you know, from the full to the end, kind of go to the beach. Kind of unwind a little bit. Get yourself grounded again. Maybe have a few cocktails with your kitty cat or your family or whatever. Just take some time off. And it's also a time for that you know that there might be another journey to happen or be full, but kind of can enjoy the moment for, you know, the pause or the calm after the storm just a little bit. That's what I like about this card. Alright. And when we get into, I think, the swords. Okay. I wish I had my pad so I could edit this part a little bit. Alright. I think this is as good as we're gonna get as far as comparing and contrasting with the aces. So you have this these lovely witches, and they are with their kitty cats, and they are holding the elements in its raw state or raw form. I could get each definition of these cards pretty good, but I don't think they follow the same witch throughout the same cards, though. So, alright. Kind of speed it up here just a little bit. I don't necessarily get two of swords. I get two of swords here, but I wish I had her balancing on something a little bit more. I like my two of swords very Rider-Waite-y, where she's kind of more balancing. I kind of wish she was balancing on something, maybe balancing on a broomstick or something like that with her swords. I like those kind of depictions of the two swords. I really like this actually depiction. When I saw this depiction of Three of Swords, I'm like, oh my god, that's how I feel like every Valentine's Day. when I'm Before I'm married now. Now I'm married, I don't have to worry about all this. But every Valentine's Day before I was married, I felt like this, like stabbing the Valentine's Day hard and writing my journal and going, Valentine's Day, I hate it. I actually liked this one when I saw it. And then there's a moon where you could get your depiction of the moon. I like the fact that she was probably there for a very long time. Kind of like a Sleeping Beauty thing. Maybe just mental rest or just rest. She just plopped on the couch and just kind of go, that was a long day. Like that. Four of Swords. What could I say about the Four of Swords here? This one was, Five of Swords. Oh, this one's the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords was the one. I'm trying to think of my Rider-Waite associations. Because I don't. Okay, this is something that I could talk about with March of the Pips. I don't see my cards in a Rider-Waite sense. I usually look at it in a numerical sense or a numerological sense. So I'm trying to rethink or reassociate what the Rider-Waite meaning to this one is. This one would have been, shoot, I can't think of it. I think it was shoot. I know the Rider-Waite card to this, but kind of looks like you got a juggler here. She's juggling, and five can be chaos or it can be action, and they don't really like what she's doing with her swords there, it seems. I forgot what the Five of Swords was in the Rider-Waite-Smith. I don't usually look at the images. I look at it as in a numerological sense. I actually like this one. I think I remembered this one. This one was kind of going to higher ground with your Six of Swords. And I like the kitty cat and the moon, the full moon. And this was, of course, the person sneaking the swords out in the lane at night. And she's actually looking over here on the suit of armor. And she looks like she's going around somebody's castle, being bad, stealing his swords, kind of going around his castle and taking the swords. And then she looks over here and goes, oh, but wait a minute. I want those two. I want those two. I want those swords. Don't do it. We're sneaking around. We're stealing somebody's swords. Okay, and then this is the Eight of Swords. This is very traditional Rider-Waite here. And I like how she looks like she could get out of her situation. And she's just kind of caved in. And you got the bird and the kitty cat. The Nine of Swords, of course, with the books and the everything keeping her up at night. And you can see it's dawn, and she still didn't look like she slept at night. And the kitty cat is like comforting her and going, like, wait, what did you do? Why'd you do that? Now, this one is the most gruesome one, I think, out of all the cards. So, like, she got stabbed in the back by this person running away, and the kitty cat's going, meow. She's trying to grab her broomstick. She's trying to grab her broomstick for help. Okay. And then we got the Page of Swords. And very studious with a book. Swords in defensive mode. Oh, this could be a story of this same witch. I'm kind of realizing that now. She's kind of going forward, charging forward with the birds, with the kitty cat not far behind. And you got the beautiful Queen of Swords with her crystal throne. She's a kind of a retired witch, it looks like. And then the King of Swords is here with the kitty cat. And he's got his knowledge in the books and communication. I actually like how they did the books and stuff, the use of the books. I'm just kind of going to flip through the cards a little bit faster because it is about half an hour into the video. Two of Swords. Cups. Two of Cups. Three Cups. Four Cups. Five of Cups. Six. Seven. 8, 9, 10, Page, Knight of Cups, Queen, King. Alright, and we're in the wand suits. I'm just kind of picking, trying to go a little bit faster so that we can do a shuffle and a brief layout at the very end of the video. I kind of like that one. I like all the cards actually in this deck. I like the very modern depiction of the witches. And I like the very modern depiction of the Rider-Waite, you know, associating with our everyday life a little bit more than kind of with just Rider-Waite. I actually feel like this is a very relatable deck. You know, if you were looking for a Rider-Waite deck that was a little bit more relatable than the Rider-Waite, I think this is a pretty good deck to go to. If you want a Rider-Waite deck that is very relatable to our everyday mundane lives, I think this is a very good Rider-Waite deck for clone-based deck for that. Alright. I think actually the Pentacles is my favorite suit in this deck. I actually kind of favor the Pentacles anyways in any deck, but this deck in particular, I think that the Pentacles is very nice. Nine of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles, that's beautiful. Like the Page. Knight. This is my beautiful Queen of Pentacles for this hashtag year ahead. My beautiful Queen of Pentacles with all their kitty cats everywhere. Crazy cat lady. The King of Pentacles, and that's the Everyday Witch Tarot. And I really do enjoy this deck. I actually am surprised how much I really do enjoy. Ooh, that's the one thing about Llewellyn cardstock I actually forgot about. They actually shuffle pretty nicely with the thinner cardstock. They're not hard to shuffle. They actually shuffle pretty nicely, but they're kind of slippery. I feel like these ones are particularly slippery. But then, of course, I'm also shuffling with a pad in between my arms, too. An iPad in between my arms, so yeah, that's a little bit better. And if you overhand shuffle, I find that this one overhand shuffles pretty nicely, better than, I think they both, overhand and rifle shuffle very nicely. Oh, let's see. And there's a spread that I could play with in the book. They didn't really, that was one thing that I was a little disappointed with in this book. They didn't have a really good witch spread. Yeah, they don't really have really good spreads in this book. They only have a 1-card spread, 3-card spread, and the Celtic Cross spread. That is one thing about this deck I can now totally say that I really don't like about this book, is that they don't have a witch spread, a really cutesy witch spread, because you would have thought there would have been a really, really awesomely cute kitty spread or a broomstick spread or something like that. That is one thing that I don't particularly like. I'm going to make up a spread as I go. Alright, let's do, in honor of March of the Pips, let's do a spread on March of the Pips and how we're going to learn March of the Pips. And I have it envisioning my head, and I'm going to call it the hat spread for all of you. I'm going to make up a spread, and I'm going to call it the hat spread. And I don't read reversals, by the way, if anybody's going to ask, are you going to read reversals with the spread? No. It's going to be a 3-card spread, though, I think. I'm kind of envisioning a 3-card spread. Alright, I feel like the energy is starting to be favorable. Hold on. Alright, my first card is going to be me. And it's how I would view with others. And I got the Knight of Pentacles. So it would be actions and the physical. So I would be physically helping everybody with their March of the Pips. So that's what this card is symbolizing, is me and how I would help others with March of the Pips. And so this is me helping others with March of the Pips. It's an action in the physical. And this is how other people are going to receive it. Oh no. 5 of Wands, which is, 5 is, I would say, is another action card for me. I don't usually view it as chaos. I view it as actions and intentions and energy, action of energy or intentions of energy. And I got some arguments going on and people not so sure what not quite receiving what I have to give, maybe. So that's alright. Not everything that somebody's going to do or teach you is going to be something that someone could receive. So that's alright. I could accept that. And how it's going to result. And I don't usually view 9 of Swords and a 10 of Swords in a very doom and gloom way. And it kind of says that it's going to be a beginning of communication or an ending of an old form of communication to others. So that's cool. And I could do one more card kind of to, like the tail of the hat right here, and to describe this card a little bit more. So it's energy. Okay. So, and that is to describe this card a little bit, and it could be the tail end of the hat, and it's kind of saying that maybe it's also another new form of not really new form of communication, but it's a new form of energy, the way I'm portraying myself to others in the world. So it's not a bad reading. I would say that I made up a really cute hat spread for this deck, and I think it reads actually pretty nicely. I think it's not a bad deck. So this is the hat spread. This is me, somebody else, the results, and the cover, the results to see how somebody would respond. Or, to describe this card a little bit better. So there you go. If you want to do the hat spread, because I made it up for this deck, go ahead. And I really love you all, and I hope to do more videos, and I'm going to try to do the March of the Pips. And you all have a good day.